Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Strongcast Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Tyler Mitchell, aka the King of Strongcast. And first of all, before we get started, I wanted to say thank you guys for checking out the debut episode and seeing how I'm going to be working through this. You know, it's going to be a little rough patch here and there, getting to where I want to be. But I appreciate you guys so much for checking it out. I hope you guys stick with me and hope we can grow as a community and as a podcast as general. And once again, I want to say thank you for listening and tuning in. Today's episode is going to be really special. We're going to be looking back at WrestleMania 15. Now you're thinking, why WrestleMania 15 of all pay-per-views? Well, we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary and the 20-year anniversary of me becoming a professional wrestling fan. Actually close to 20 and 20-ish years of being a professional wrestling fan. The first pay-per-view I ever watched was Royal Rumble 1999. Although my cousin had a videotape that I watched, and it was from Rock Bottom 98 with Undertaker versus Steve Austin in the Buried Alive match. That's one of the earliest matches I remember seeing, but the first pay-per-view I ever saw was Royal Rumble 1999. And not too long after that, I became a huge wrestling fan. So, taking a look back at this 20-year anniversary, I said, how better could it be to review this? And since it's WrestleMania season, we might as well get into it and check out my very first WrestleMania experience, aka WrestleMania 15. Now, the rest of this month on Facebook.com, it's going to be Facebook.com/Strongcast Wrestling Podcast. I will be doing polls on other WrestleManias that you guys want me to watch. So stay tuned for that, and we'll have one up for next Friday's episode. So let's go ahead and see what the Ragin Climax is all about. Okay, so WrestleMania 15 took place on March 28, 1999 in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the First Union Center. The attendance was 20,276, packed to the brim, one of the best sellouts. And this is during the height of WWF's popularity. You could basically sell anything with WWF logos on it, or with Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, anybody like that on it, and you're licensed to print money. And we're coming off the pay-per-view, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, where Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Vince McMahon in a steel cage match to win the opportunity to face the WWF champion at WrestleMania. But also the debut of Paul White, aka The Big Show, happened on that pay-per-view, and he ended up helping more than harming Austin and getting to the title match when he threw Austin into the cage and Austin fell onto the floor, causing him to get the victory. Also on the show, we had The Rock and Mankind in a last man standing match where both men knocked each other out, so Mankind retained the WWF Championship during that match. And this led to a bout between The Rock and Mankind on the following episode of Raw in a ladder match, which saw Paul White yet again get involved, chokeslamming Mankind off of the ladder, causing The Rock to win the match and the WWF Championship. Now, before all of this leads up to WrestleMania, The Rock and Big Show have issues because The Rock doesn't trust Big Show because he's an outsider, and he doesn't think he's doing what's best for the corporation. So, they have a series of back and forths. Nothing really comes to blows. Vince is trying to cool them off, and that's going to play a huge part later on into the show, where Mankind faces the Big Show for the right to be the referee in the main event of Austin vs. Rock. Also stemming from St. Valentine's Day Massacre is a little feud going on between DX and the corporation, where Chyna had turned on DX the night after the Royal Rumble when Triple H was in an I Quit match with The Rock. She was held hostage, and Triple H said, "I quit," and then she turned on him right after. So it was a plan all along. So at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Triple H and X-Pac teamed up to face Kane and Chyna in a tag team match, in which Kane and Chyna won. So at WrestleMania, the match was set up between Triple H and Kane, while X-Pac defended his European Championship against Shane McMahon. So you have all this turmoil with DX, and it's going to play out very heavily throughout the night at WrestleMania. Speaking of DX, you're probably wondering what the New Age Outlaws are up to. Well, before all of this occurred, the Road Dogg had been fighting for the Hardcore Championship, and Billy Gunn had been fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. And Before St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Road Dogg was injured in a match on Raw, and he had to vacate the Hardcore Championship, which led to Bob Holly versus Al Snow at St. Valentine's Day Massacre for the Hardcore title. Meanwhile, on the flip side, at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Billy Gunn was involved with the Intercontinental Championship match between Val Venus and Ken Shamrock, as Billy was the special guest referee for that match and had been embroiled in the Intercontinental Championship title hunt for a while, battling Ken Shamrock at Royal Rumble and trying to flirt with Ken's sister Ryan, just like Val Venus was. Also, Goldust was added to the mix as well because he and Ryan had something going on as well, along with the Blue Meanie. So a couple of weeks before WrestleMania, on an episode of Raw, Road Dogg wins the Intercontinental title and Billy Gunn wins the Hardcore title. So they switched feuds out of nowhere with 2 weeks left, and obviously this is a Vince Russo product because he likes Crash TV and anything can happen at any time, but it really made no sense going into the pay-per-view. So how would the Outlaws fare going into this? We'll find out a little later. Also at this time, The Undertaker was running roughshod over the WWF and had become somewhat of a satanic cult leader with his Ministry of Darkness. And leading into this, he had been tormenting the McMahons, Vince and Stephanie, going to Stephanie's home while Vince wasn't there. And this leads to Vince McMahon setting up a match between the Big Boss Man and The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. So that's a little bit of the rundown of what's going on before we get into the pay-per-view. For you guys that are listening to this, if you have the free time, the ability to do so, go on to your WWE network, look for WrestleMania 15, be easy to find, and click and watch along with me as we discuss the Ragin Climax. I'll give you guys a little countdown before we get started. 3, 2, 1, and play. We open up WrestleMania with Boys to Men, of all people. 4-time Grammy Award winning and Philadelphia's own Boys to Men singing America the Beautiful. Now, when I think of Boys to Men, I don't think of wrestling, I think of slow jams, you and your woman grooving out in the night, listening to some Quiet Storm on your local radio station, some I'll make love to you like you want me to. Stuff like that. That's what I expect. But not doing this. It's kind of out of place for them, because they're so soulful. And in this Attitude Era, it really doesn't fit in. It really doesn't. But the guys do a fantastic performance, a fantastic rendition of it. And it's just something that kind of sticks out to me, but these guys are getting it kicked off right, and we'll see where it goes from there. Crowd's going wild right after their performance. Guys did really good. Now we cut to this video package that I believe is a David Sahadi package that is actually of Freddie Blassie. Now during this time they did a lot of Freddie Blassie promos and vignettes using him where he's talking about these gods of ancient Greece, these immortal human beings, hyping up these guys as more than just athletes. And it's just classic stuff. If you've never watched one, go out of your way to watch one because it makes you amped up because you're seeing these guys and you think they're gladiators and they're warriors and stuff like that. You got Austin bleeding from WrestleMania 13 as a visual. You got Kane, Undertaker, everybody from this time period just encapsulated into this video package, and it is so beautifully done. And one of the best things that I can recommend you doing is just going out of your way, treat yourself to these classic Freddie Blassie promos from around this time and into the early 2000s. And he says, "Welcome to WrestleMania, the showcase of the immortals." This is when WrestleMania to me felt special. And any time where it's mentioned like that, and it's mentioned like the granddaddy of them all, I hate that they don't do that anymore, but I get why they don't do it. They don't want it to seem old, but it is what it is. It's been around for we're going on the 35th year. It's crazy. And we're sitting here watching WrestleMania 15. And we get the pyro, we get the intro. I miss pyro so much. every week on Raw or SmackDown, I should say, when AJ Styles comes out, I'm looking for that pyro. You hear the bang for it, but nothing happens, and you're like, okay. But God, if you're looking out over this crowd, this 20,000 plus crowd, all you see is signs everywhere, signs. And man, for one person to be there to hold signs, being in the crowd, it sucks so bad because you cannot see. A lot of people are holding them up, and you're like, put them down. I can't see what's going on. So I feel bad for a lot of these people, but hey, it was a sign of the times, man. Sign of the times. Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler are your commentators for tonight, and our first match is for the Hardcore Championship, a three-way match for the Hardcore Championship. Out comes Al Snow first, carrying Head, rocking it like he did back in the ECW days. Head and Al Snow were over, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Al Snow had this mannequin head that he talked to, and he would hear voices as far as the mannequin head speaking to him, and he would do whatever the mannequin head said, and sometimes he wouldn't. He would freak out and just be all over the place. And I guess that's what made Al Snow so special in the beginning, because you never had a character that would just speak to a random object like that and hear things. And, you know, anytime that object got messed with, it would hurt him as much as it did the object, even though the object's inanimate. And it was so different, and it worked in ECW, and to an extent it worked in WWE. But I never think that Al Snow reached his full potential. Out next is Hardcore Holly, the newly crowned Hardcore Holly. When he came into the WWF, he was known as Thurman Sparky Plug. Then he became Sparkplug Holly, Bob Holly, Bombastic Bob, whatever you want to call him. And then Bob Holly along with the Job Squad, which was a group led up by Al Snow. So these two have a little bit of history together. And it's good to see Hardcore Holly right before he gets fully hardcore. Out next is your WWF Hardcore Champion, Mr. Ass, Billy Gunn. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it was only a couple of weeks ago on Raw where Billy Gunn had won the Hardcore title and essentially swapped places with Road Dogg in their title feuds. Billy says, "I know, Philly, you're ready to get a little hardcore," and the match begins. Al Snow with a sneak attack, and now Bob and Billy are attacking Al Snow. Double elbow takedown, and Hardcore Holly tats Billy, kicking him, punching him, doing all the usual spots. And I gotta say, watching this match, it's one of those things where you kind of know what's coming. Holy hell, what a clothesline. Freaking Billy selling like a champ, flying all over the ring for no reason. He didn't even have to do this in this opening match, but he's doing so. Al Snow's actually getting the upper hand right now, you know, and he's been wanting the title back. Him and Road Dogg had their little match on the January 11th episode of Monday Night Raw out in the snow. So this is his shot of redemption along with Hardcore Holly's. Action is breaking down outside the ring. Billy goes to Irish Whip. Al Snow on the outside, but Al Snow counters and flips Billy Gunn straight over the steel steps. And now things are breaking down with Bob Holly and Al Snow going to attack each other. You know, going back and watching this and thinking about the Job Squad, if I'm not mistaken, the Job Squad had Al Snow, Blue Meanie, Hardcore Holly, Flash Funk, aka Too Cold Scorpio, and Dwayne Gill, aka Gilbert. And their motto was "Pin me, pay me," which I thought was absolutely tremendous. I absolutely love the Job Squad because it's so fucking funny to hear such a, not really a parody, but a euphemism describing jobbers and stuff like that, which those guys were at the time. So it's fun to see. As Billy Gunn's picking up, or well, attempted to pick up Hardcore Holly for a little like it would be a power bomb. Every man's down on the outside. Hardcore Holly's going underneath the ring. What is he going to find under there? Well, won't find out, because Al Snow decides to kick him in the stomach, and now Al Snow is reaching under the ring, and what's he going to find under there? Oh snap, acting like Keith Jones of the Philadelphia Flyers, breaking out the hockey stick. Now he's doing some acting like he's flipping nunchucks. Oh, Al Snow, you're the best, man. You really are. I actually follow Al Snow on Facebook. He's a pretty good guy. But he's definitely not showing that in this match, as he's beating up both of these guys with the hockey stick. Raising it above his head, now he's going back for more weapons. Or just a poor Gatorade and a bunch of drinks all over Hardcore Holly. Who in the hell is that for? Is that for the ring crew? Who is that for? Why are those drinks there? They're iced up and everything. Ice is all over the damn floor. Jesus Christ. Bob Holly's breaking out the broom. He knows better. He knows the ice needs to be swept up. But he passes on to Al Snow since Al Snow was the one that made the damn mess. Clean up your shit, Al, for God's sakes. Anyway, we're getting back into the ring here. Billy's beating up Hardcore with the half end of that hockey stick. It broke in half, and now he's beating on out. Ooh, dirty ass low blow, followed by breaking the broomstick over Billy Gunn's back. Who in the fuck is going to clean up the ice and drinks? Snow with his martial arts pose. I don't know what the shit he's doing. I know he was Avatar at one point in his career, but Jesus Christ, we're past that point. Now he is just waylaying on Billy Gunn's arm with that damn broomstick. For the love of God, man, stop the damn match. The people have families. Al Snow whips Hardcore Holly into the ropes, hitting him with a broomstick. Billy Gunn brings a chair in, but then gets beat again and again with the broomstick. At this point, you'd figure, well, if he was hitting him dead in the face, he'd be done. And a little miscalculation there is Billy Gunn didn't sell that shot. Okay. Switches over to Hardcore Holly. Al Snow with the chair now. What is he going to do? Is he the chairman of the WWF? Probably not. Hits Billy Gunn in the stomach with it. Goes over and hits Hardcore Holly in the stomach with it. Ah, man. A lot of spots, a lot of crazy shit, but that's what you expect in hardcore matches. And boom! Just like Sabu with a flying leg into the corner on Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is laid out. Now he's setting up for it again. What's going to happen this time? Oh, he's got the stick. Oh, Jesus. Billy ain't having no kids no time soon. Jamming that thing right into his, well, you know. No, I'm not trying to copy Bruce Pritchard. Out over the top rope goes Hardcore Holly. Billy is still holding his manhood. I would be too if I got hit with a fucking stick right in my fucking dick. On the outside, Billy tosses Hardcore Holly onto the barricade. Referee's not doing much about this. Of course, in a hardcore match, what the fuck's the ref going to do? He's just going to sit there and be like, oh shit. Oh! Headshot. Double headshot. Al Snow holds head over his head while both men are laid out. He's talking to the head's telling him to go get some more weapons. Oh, for the love of God, don't do it. Damn, they were pretty quick. The floor is actually pretty clean. And Al Snow is breaking out a table. Because what's a hardcore match without a table? You're the table, I'm the table, we're all the table. Let's see what happens here. He sets up in the corner. There is blood all over that table. Was that from something from the Brood, or what was that? I don't know. I really don't know what that was, but there's blood on the top of that table. If you guys watching, you can see it right there. It's like that red viscous fluid, as they like to say. A little bit of do-si-do between Hardcore and Al Snow. Oh, a hell of a chair shot from Billy Gunn on top of Hardcore. Hip tosses Al Snow through the table. Billy is on fire, throwing suckets to everybody in the crowd, getting everybody hyped. He grabs the steel chair. Snow is still down from the table shot. He picks him up. What is he going for? Going for the Famouser on the chair? Goes for it. Bam! Always love the Famouser. Always. Cover 1, 2. Oh! Hardcore Holly with a chair shot to the back. Pins Al Snow 1, 2, and 3. And we've got a new WWF Hardcore Champion, Hardcore Holly. Man, what a demolition derby this match was. Hardcore waltz up the ramp, holding his title, celebrating a victory, and we cut to a video package from earlier tonight on Heat, where D'Lo Brown and Test were the last two people in this battle royal that would determine who would face the tag team champions later on tonight. And after the match, Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett attacked them both, softening them up for the title match tonight. And speaking of which, it is now time for that tag team match, as D'Lo Brown and Ivory are out. Ivory looking as only she can look with her purple scarf. D'Lo out here doing his head bobbing. Now Ivory has a bandage on her face because Marlena, or Terry Reynolds, burned her with a cigar on an episode of Raw. And out comes his tag team partner Test, who is wearing a Guns Don't Kill People, I Kill People t-shirt. Oh boy, that would not fly today. Not today at all. Anyway, at this time, I believe Test was a hired gun of the corporation, one of their big heavies, and he and D'Lo are having an argument on the outside of the ring. Of course, these two had just fought each other on Heat, so they're having an argument of who should do what, and Test is telling Ivory to mind her own business, and out come your tag team champions, and Deborah looking oh so fine. Good Lord, at this time, I'll tell you what, I didn't hit puberty yet, but boy, this sure advanced it. Good grief. She is wearing a white bikini with her jacket suit, and good Lord, everything and anything is exposed here. Jeff Jarrett coming out with the all white with the silver, and Owen Hart. And it's sad watching this, knowing that Owen would pass away not too long right after this at Over the Edge, and his horrible accident where he fell from the rafters as a Blue Blazer character. So this is one of Owen's last times being really shown in the spotlight as a main player in the tag division. Everybody's getting around the ring. Tag champs are taking off their belts. And also, while this is waiting on this, I want to say congratulations to Jeff Jarrett on being inducted to the Hall of Fame this past year. Well deserved. I wish they would let him use some of his TNA stuff if he could ever get the rights to it. And, well, we start off hot. Here we go. Everybody's in the ring. Everybody's throwing blows. Tess going after Owen. D'Lo going after Jeff. And it's fun watching D'Lo and Jeff, especially in recent years, because D'Lo was in Aces and Eights and TNA. Of course, Jeff Jarrett being the founder of TNA. And, you know, Test working in TNA, the only person that wasn't really there was Deborah and Owen and Ivory. And it's just cool to see. And also another sad tale as far as Test goes, you know, with him passing away at such a young age. I thought Test had all the potential in the world. And it's sad to see talent like that pass away so young. But when we get back to this match, Jeff Jarrett whipping D'Lo into the corner. D'Lo with a nice elbow. Tads in Test. Here comes the big heavy, the hired gun of the corporation. Owen Hart attacking. And Owen had came off of a strange 1998. You know, he was in the Nation and then for a little bit there. And then went on his own for a little bit. Then he got hooked up with Jeff Jarrett. And I think that's where he really hit his stride right before his passing. I really didn't think the Blue Blazer character was necessary. I don't know why anybody thought it was necessary at the time. I thought Jeff and Owen were a great tag team, as Test is setting him up for a pump handle slam. Ooh, a reverse. But, and an enziguri. Now, if anybody knows about Owen's enziguris, it can put you out. Just ask Shawn Michaels. You know, circa 96. Owen's going for the sharpshooter here. D'Lo coming in, break it up. I do not know why he ran right in front of him. Hit the ropes, then run to hit him in the face. That made 0 sense. Okay, let's just see how it goes. D'Lo taking down Owen again. Hit him with a nice scoop slam. Nice scoop slam. Hit him with that patented lead drop. And D'Lo's trash talking, which is probably saying, "You better watch your fucking mouth, punk." If anybody knows how D'Lo sounds, you know what I'm talking about. Irish whip off the rope. Dud down. Knee by Jarrett. D'Lo whacks Jarrett in the face. Spinning heel kick. And here we go. Tag team champs are on the offensive. Owen with a gut wrench suplex. Anytime he went for that gut wrench, I always think about him going for that tombstone pile driver that almost paralyzed Stone Cold Steve Austin back at SummerSlam 97. Just gruesome stuff. If you've never seen that, you definitely need to see it. Or if you're for the faint of heart, you definitely don't want to see it. Wishbone by Jarrett and Owen. Jarrett off the ropes, diving into D'Lo. And I've always appreciated Jeff Jarrett's work as a heel. More so as the heel than as a babyface. And more so in TNA than WWE and WCW. But damn, he worked well. I don't know why he had so much trouble with everybody else. I know he had the blasphemy thing with Austin 316, and that's why he was kind of put where he was in the WWF at the time. But man, and I've been watching a lot of Jeff Jarrett's work in TNA, and just, you know, he had a reign of terror similar to Triple H now. Don't get me wrong, he had a run there where he was literally holding on to the title just like Triple H was in WWE and would not let that son of a bitch go. And you had a lot of rising talent. Get back to that in a second. Ivory and Deborah getting at it. He had a rivalry going on with different guys like Jeff Hardy and Raven and AJ Styles. Now, I do know he dropped the title to AJ a couple of times, but there was a long period of time between there and when Jeff finally gave up everything. I think his real reign ended about 2006 at Bound for Glory with Sting before he had to go home and tend to his wife Jill, who was having cancer at the time. But during that 3 to 4 year span where he was on top, man, he was untouchable. Back and forth action we go. D'Lo dips over the top. Goes to powerbomb Jeff. Owen with a drop kick from the top. Jeff rolls up. Meanwhile, Tess is outside arguing with Ivory. 1, 2, and 3. And the tag champs beat D'Lo and Tess. As PMS is out messing with Ivory, Test is blaming Ivory for the loss, and D'Lo snatches Tess from behind, spins him around. They have an argument, and then they start to brawl. And good Lord, it's an all-out war with these two. The referee's not doing a damn thing about it. Jimmy Corderas is just halfway trying to pull them apart. These two are just beating on each other. Eye rakes, headlocks. They finally get separated. Meanwhile, Jeff and Owen are just standing in the ring, watching what's going on, casually celebrating their championship victory. And on to the next match we go, and Lord, this is going to be a train wreck, folks. It's Butterbean versus the Brawl for All winner, Bart Gunn. Now, for those who don't know what the Brawl for All is, it was a little tournament they had in mid-1998, which was shoot fighting, boxing, and this tournament was supposed to end with Dr. Death Steve Williams winning the tournament and going on to face Stone Cold Steve Austin later in the year. Well, nobody knew that Bart Gunn had a mean shot on him, and he knocked the dog shit out of Dr. Death and ended up winning the Brawl for All. And this was his reward, facing Butterbean, who is also a professional fighter. And Butterbean at this time was a huge megastar, as we pan to the crowd and see Rodney and Pete Gas, the hero, the legend Pete Gas of the Mean Street Posse, sitting ringside waiting for Shane McMahon and X-Pac as we're setting up the ring for the boxing match. Yeah, folks, when I tell you this is about to be a train wreck, it's about to be on like Donkey Kong. Vinny Ponzienza is your special guest referee. Chuck Wepner is one of the official judges, along with Gorilla Monsoon. Gorilla looked in such poor health here, and this is a far cry from the way he looked right before he would pass away, which would be in October of 1999 later this year. Also a judge is Kevin Rooney, who is a former trainer and personal friend of Mike Tyson. So they're bringing out a lot of figureheads from the world of boxing. And out comes Butterbean with his posse, and Jesus Christ at the size of this man. If you've never seen Butterbean, you need to go watch, because this man is something else. He is a stacked monster. Him and his training crew, he's wearing his red, white, and blue tights, coming out to the ring, or shorts I should say. And this man, I know for the longest time, had an undefeated streak and several different KOs. If you've ever seen, I think it was the first or second Jackass movie, he was in that with Johnny Knoxville. And I don't think it was the movie. I think it was actually the TV show. And on the TV show of Jackass, he knocked out Johnny Knoxville in a clothing store. So if you remember that scene, you know who Butterbean is. But go watch some of his fights. And out next is Bart Gunn, and poor Bart Gunn does not know what's awaiting him. He comes out, throws the Eds up like he's ready to go. Got on the blue and yellow. Looking as only he can look. WrestleMania 15 logo behind him. And the Brawl for All in concept wasn't a bad idea, but in execution it was fucking disgusting. And the fact that the guy that you wanted to get ended up getting beat is quite embarrassing. And I'm glad they have never ever done another one since. So, how's the guy that beat everybody else going to fare against Butterbean? Well, we're about to find out. He's hobbling around the ring, trying to show off. They're just killing time right now. Butterbean standing there menacingly. Bart's finally taking off the rope. Sorry for all these long pauses in between I'm going to edit these out, so it's not going to be as long as what you hear. Or it's going to be longer than what you hear, I should say. Two are standing face to face. Vinny's laying down the law. See what's about to happen. They're about to touch gloves. Here we go. See what happens. Backed off in the corner. And getting ready to ring the bell. I love how the light is just focused on the ring. And here we go. Couple shots from Butterbean. Bart's trying to jab in. Butterbean laying in some body blows. Hit him right in the chest. And boom! Knockout. One shot. Boom. Another one. And he's down. He's down. Vinny's counting him out. Bart got fucking rocked. He is down on his knee. He's trying to stand back up. And here he goes. He says, I'm good. Now it's 30 seconds left of the round. 27. 26. BAM! At the 25-second mark. Not smooth the fuck out by Butterbean. Bart Gunn will see you never, my friend. Because I don't think Bart Gunn was ever heard from after this. Because he got walloped. And if you've never seen it, go out of your way to watch it. You'll be wanting to hit the rewind button over and over and over again on this. Good Lord. Butterbean with a clean-ass knockout. With just 25 seconds left in the first round, knocked him smooth out. Ooh, as they show the first potential knockout, he was rocked right there. Bam, another shot. Butterbean took him down, and it was a wonder, and he should have stayed down from there. But bam! Knocked him smooth out. Head hitting off the ropes. Butterbean wins the match by KO, and Bart Gunn is made to look like the biggest idiot in all the world, and WWE's made to look like a bunch of idiots for their Brawl for All champion being knocked out so quick. Goodness gracious. I feel bad for Bart. You know, I mean, he's known for this now. He's known for being on the Smoking Guns and for this. And more this than the Smoking Guns, unfortunately. Just because the way his head rocked when he got hit, it was so fucking brutal. But Butterbean's won. And that's the second time, I believe the second time that Butterbean's been in a match in WWE. He also fought Mark Marrow back at the 1997 D-Generation It's in Your House pay-per-view. And I think that match went to a disqualification. I think there was kind of a fuck finish with that match. So, but yeah, Butterbean out here dominating. And here comes, what in the hell? Is this the goddamn San Diego Chicken? What in the hell am I watching right now? This dude's out here dancing and shaking and jiving and everything, and he's dancing with Vinny. Starts mocking Vinny, farting at him. Vinny's sitting here laughing. He's slapping Vinny on the ass. What in the hell's going on? Vinny's just, BAM! Vinny uppercuts the Chicken, sending his ass back to San Diego, telling him to suck it and get out of the ring. The Chicken's backing up. He's scared. He's going to run his ass on. Good Lord, what are we watching here? I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but anyway, they fade off. And we go to a video package of earlier tonight where Big Show and Mankind are brawling against each other. Now, Big Show was waiting for Stone Cold Steve Austin to come into the building all night, and Mankind ended up brawling with Big Show. And as you can see when you're watching this, Stone Cold's going to walk through the back of it. He's like, oh, what the hell's going on? Oh, okay. So there's that. And these two, they're ready for their match for the right to be the special guest referee in the main event match against Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Now, Kevin Kelly's backstage interviewing Mankind, probably asking Mankind where he got his sweet-ass referee shirt. And Mankind's just looking distraught. Well, Kevin, unlike you, I can't buy designer clothes. I have to go into the bowels of the building. I have to go into the boiler room to find all my clothes. And Big Show, you fat bastard, you can't wear my clothes. No, sir. You have to go to the big and tall shops. Have a nice day. Absolutely god-awful rendition of Mankind. Oh, Mick Foley's going to kill me if he ever sees me and ever hears this. So, yeah, let's not bring this up. But now, the match between the Big Show, Paul White, and Mankind is coming up next. Big Show coming out, and good lord at how big he is. And for a guy his size at this time, and if you watched a little bit before when he was in WCW, This guy was diving off of the top rope, doing drop kicks and elbow drops and stuff like that. Stuff that guys his size should not be doing at all. And just being able to see him in this match, he looks kind of distraught, kind of out of it. I mean, being serious, not like Mankind. But Big Show makes his way to the ring, does his pose, looking strong as ever. And out comes Mankind. Now, Mankind, up to this point, and holy hell, we're getting off hot. Up to this point, he was WWF champion and had been considered for the main event match in a triple threat style with Austin and Rock. But here he is fighting Big Show for the right to be the special guest referee. And Big Show with a giant ass boot to the face. I would not want to take that, let alone anything from the Big Show. But, Mick Foley deserved a good championship run. And I felt that his first couple were okay, And really, that first one where Tony Schiavone did the butts in the seats comment and everybody flipped over to watch him win the title, I thought that was a monumental moment, and it really did change the course of the Monday Night War, and it shifted everything into the WWF's favor. And without Mick Foley and everybody switching over to see him win, I mean, yeah, WWF was on the rise, but that was a catalyst. And without that, and without the finger poke of doom being the bullshit that it was, as Mick Foley's going for a DDT on the floor and gets shoved straight into the steps. If it wasn't for all that, I don't think that would have been as big of a moment had it been something like Goldberg versus Nash instead of Hogan versus Nash, and then the fucking screw job at the end of that basically drove every WCW fan away. If that didn't do it, I don't know what else did, except for when Russo came in later and just had every type of fucking gimmick match you could possibly have at the time. Fucking pinata on a pole and the Oklahoma bullshit as Bishop was waylaying on Mankind. I think Mick Foley gets his just due just from the Hell in a Cell match with him and Undertaker. But as far as his title runs, I felt they could have been longer. But, at this time, your top two dogs were The Rock and Austin, and that was just it. And Mick Foley was that good placeholder until it was time to go into that title picture at WrestleMania. So we're getting back to this match. Big Show dominating, as always. Got his hair all a fucking mess. And a side Russian lead sweep from the big man. Why in the hell are you doing that? I don't understand it. You're such a big dude, and then all of a sudden you're going to do a side Russian lead sweep with your big ass. Gonna break the damn ring. Here we go. Oh, you whiff a fucking clothesline flip over the rope. Get your goddamn head hung. Holy shit, dude. What in the hell was that? Mick Foley whipping out the sock. It's Mr. Socko. Mr. Socko is here at WrestleMania. Why did it just sound like Bruce Pritchard trying to do Jim Cornette? Oh well, Socko is in. Bishop's fighting headbutt. Never want to take a headbutt from a big man like that or a Samoan. And back in the Socko we go again. And Earl Hebner standing there watching. They're both swinging around. Oh, big fish shot from Big Show. Which I find funny that his finisher in later years will be a KO punch. Another attack with the sock. This time Big Show. Both guys had the leg spread, so either one could get kicked in the nuts. But again, oh, speaking of which, kicking the nuts right there from Mick Foley. I was about to say, this match has some disqualification, doesn't it? Apparently not. Man, Big Show looking oh so disgusted, fading from this mandible claw, this deadly mandible claw. The referee's holding out. Big Show's trying to stretch his arms out. Mankind's about to hop on his back, talking to the ref, telling him to ask him if he wants to give up. Big Show stands up with Mick Foley on his back, and wham! Both his weight and Mick Foley's landed on top of Mick. Good Lord. I remember seeing a spot like this with Mick Foley and Vader, and I think this led to their Lloyds of London issues back in WCW. Such a brutal spot. How in the hell does Mick Foley do stuff like this? And this is minor compared to what he normally does, but after a spot like that where he had to file the Lloyds of London, it's crazy. It's crazy that he would be able to take stuff like this. I know I sure wouldn't want to be under a 500-pound man crushing me like that. Good Lord. Anyway, Big Show's back up, kicking Mankind in the ribs, stomping him. in the ropes. Referee's trying to get in the back up. Big Show's having none of it. Big Show at this time, he was still trying to get his feet wet. This is the time where he talks about, everybody was sharks, and if he didn't do good, he was getting his ass chewed out every single week. And you could tell that he's trying, but right now he's still in that early phase of where he needs to learn that the WWF is different than WCW. He grabs a chair, hits Mankind in the stomach with the chair. The referee's telling him to get it back in the ring. Here we go. Big ass back shot with a chair. Good God. Look at the dent in that chair. Bishop's just on a rampage, grabs another chair. Lord knows why. It's like he's selling furniture at the local store. Talking to the ref. Earl Hebner's one of those people that didn't give a shit about nobody. He didn't care what size you were. If you were going to talk shit to him, he was going to talk shit back to you. That's what I liked about Earl Hebner. And he always would do that. And whether it be Triple H or Biz Show or anybody. Yeah, he'd back off though. He'd back off when he saw these guys coming at him. But if they shoved him, guarantee he was going to shove right back. He had no motherfucking problem with that. Bishop's got 2 chairs set up in the ring. Mankind's holding his arm, his nuts, whatever he's holding. Going for the ride. He's got goozled up and down through both chairs. And it's a disqualification. Bishop's retarded ass beating up Mankind more and more with the chair. Which you'd figure after the first couple of chair shots it would be disqualification. No, it takes that to be a disqualification. But as a result of a disqualification, Mick Foley is now your special guest referee in the title match tonight. But he is so beat up that he might not even make it. And now comes Vince McMahon, who knows what happened, knows Big Show fucked up. He's like, man, what are you doing? Why'd you do that? You know that you were supposed to be my help. I wanted you in the main event so you could take out Austin and help Rock retain the WWF Championship. Now look, you have this pathetic piece of crap Mankind that's gonna be the special guest referee. You ruined it. You ruined it, damn it. He's saying, what in the fuck are you doing, Big Show? You had him beat. I told you had him beat. Now look, he's laying here dead. I can't put you in the match just because I'm the boss. I can't do that shit. No. You have to listen to reason, damn it. I'm trying to help you. Hey, listen to me, you son of a bitch. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. You do not turn your back on me. Bishop's looking like, oh, what the fuck are you saying, old man? He's like, you better not mess with me. Up for the goozle. Choke slam time. Choke slam. Oh, never mind. Bishop puts him down. Bishop puts him down, holding him. Vince, with the greatest facial expression in the world, he's like, damn it, man, I told you. Don't fucking put your hands on me. God damn it, pal. I told you. Don't fuck with me. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. And you will listen to what I have to say, you stupid son of a bitch. And here it comes. Vince keeps putting that finger in Show's face. You know what's about to happen here. Bam, slap. And bam, a big punch to Vince McMahon. The crowd's going crazy. Big Show turns babyface, leaving Vince laying in the ring. But what about Mankind? Man still laid out in the ring after the double choke slam through the chairs. Shit, Big Show storms off, leaving a heap of bodies in his wake as Vince McMahon is laid out on the ground. Good Lord. Pat and Jerry are out. You know, the old stooges. They got to come out and see old Mr. McMahon, see how he's doing. Alabama, Vince McMahon, you stupid son of a bitch. You should have not have fought with the Big Show. I don't know why I sound like a mix of Iron Sheik and Pat Patterson, but oh well. Again, my impressions are god-awful, so forgive me. We got Teddy Long, EMT's down. Don't know why. He just got punched in the head. And he really didn't get punched in the head. Bishop's fucking hands covering his face. Good Lord. Hey, it popped the crowd though, man. Everybody went fucking wild for it. That's the thing about it. Vince being carried off here, walking to the back. As we get ready for what's coming next, Mick Foley is also being carried out. Oh, he's the one being carried out on the stretcher. Okay. Forgot all about this. Yeah, he goes to the hospital before the night's over with. I believe that Mankind and Big Show have yet another match that's going to take place at Backlash, and it's going to be a Boiler Room Brawl match, which Mankind will win, and that will subsequently end their feud because they would go on to team up as a member of the Union to take down the Corporate Ministry, which will develop right after Backlash. Mr. McMahon is distraught, doesn't know what's going to happen with his main event. Here we get another replay of what happened. Vince saying, "I'm Vince McMahon, damn it," and slaps Big Show. Bam, another shot. And Vince is in the bag getting sat down after being knocked the fuck out. Pat and Jerry like, "Vince, you need some water? You need some help?" Vince like, "Get the fuck away from me. I just got hit in the head by that fucking giant. Jesus. Get away from me, damn it." Vince is looking on confused, like, what is he going to do about his title match tonight? He's got to make sure Austin doesn't win the title. We come back to the arena and, oh, you didn't know? It's Road Dogg, the Intercontinental Champion, coming out for his 4-way match. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, Road Dogg won the title on an episode of Raw. And nothing against Road Dogg, but he looks so out of place in this match. He comes out, does his usual shtick, holds up the Intercontinental belt, which he doesn't look bad with. I'll admit that. He doesn't look bad with at all. And he says, "I got 2 words for you. Suck it." Hey, just sound like I would have been if I was in the crowd at that time. And here comes the man that porn forgot. The man who went from smoking hot blondes to smoking hot blunts. The weed connoisseur himself, Val Venus. And yes, still at this time, Val Venus wasn't his porn star gimmick, coming out with the towel, the purple lights, the "hello, ladies." Yeah, again, I can't do this shit right. Forgive me. Road Dogg standing on the outside. Val is all kinds of into it. Good Lord. And you got a little boy in the audience in the corner that is doing the grind that he does. Jesus. The attitude era was something else, man. It was something special. You had to be there to see it. Little boy in a referee shirt. If you see him when you're watching it, watch him. Right when Val Venus is doing his little grind thing, he does it too. It's just funny as hell. And Val's probably talking about some pork sausage or some other sexual innuendo. You know how that goes. The golden one, Goldust, is out next with Blue Meanie and Ryan Shamrock. And Goldust looks like he is pissed off at the world here. I'm not sure why. He has a mean scowl on his face, and it is very depressing. I'm not sure what's going on with Goldust here. You know, maybe someone wanted to wear his wig, and he told them no, and they got mad. So he got mad right back at him. I don't know. He looks glorious. Oh, okay. Trying to bite the screen. I don't know what's going on here. This is back when Goldust had just came back from his little stint as Dustin Runnels and the artist formerly known as Goldust. And good Lord, he is just as lively as ever. And Blue Meanie calling him mommy and all that. It's something else. And now, the world's most dangerous man, and a man that I am seriously surprised is not in the WWE Hall of Fame right now. Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock, former UFC champion, super fight champion, everything like that. Intercontinental champion, tag team champion, you name it. And Ken is one of those people that, again, similar to like Mick Foley, whereas Mick Foley actually won the WWF Championship, Ken never really got a chance to win the WWF Championship. He was in several matches for it, but, you know, he never won, and he never really broke through the ceiling. He was just mainly a mid-card talent. And that's a real shame. That is a real shame because Ken deserved to be a WWF champion, at least once, because he had it. You know, he's one of those people, kind of like Samoa Joe is now, where he is legit. He will legit fuck you up. Speaking of which, a nice Hurricane Rana by Ken on Goldust. Action's breaking down as I'm speaking right now. Road Dogg's beating up Val. Shamrock kicking Road Dogg in the corner. ECW Straw Hat guys in the crowd flipping everybody off, trying to show himself. And this match is like a tag team style match, which is weird. You tag in, but it's for the Intercontinental title. So whoever gets in gets the title. Road Dogg better hold on tight. And then you see referee Tim White in the ring. Tim, part of the Suicide Stories, or Lunchtime Suicide, I believe is what it's called. Some of the darkest shit you will ever see in WWE history, and I'm not sure why they did that stuff. If you haven't seen that, go look it up. I'm telling you to look up a lot of things if you haven't seen it, but it's just good to go back and look. And that you might not want to. Road Dogg tags in Goldust, and Goldust and Ken Shamrock are going at it, which that should be good since Goldust is hanging around Shamrock's sister. Now, of course, they're not really brother and sister in real life. They actually even dated at one point. So Val comes in off the tag from Ken and starts beating up Ken. Good Lord. Now, those two have had a rivalry going on for several months now, so it made sense. But don't forget, Goldust and Val Venus had a rivalry too over Terry Reynolds. And Goldust drives Val Venus. And that rivalry was all kinds of bizarre and actually led to the comeback of Goldust as Goldust. You know, here we go. Going for Shattered Dreams. Nope, I meant Curtain Call. Excuse me. Curtain Call. Spine Buster. 1, 2. Kick out by Goldust. Val Venus is upset. Whip off the ropes. And here we go. Boom, double drop. I have no idea what that move is supposed to do. Goldust basically had his head between his legs, jumped in the air, and jumped back down. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but supposedly it's effective. Blue Mini's on the outside being goofy. I loved Blue Mini in ECW with the BWO, but I really didn't really care for his WWE run. And that's nothing against him, you know. It's just one of those things where I found him better with Stevie and Nova. Val is waylaying Goldust. Bulldog off the top. 1, 2. Kick out. Man. A lot of near falls here. I love how Goldust has 24 karat typed on his tights. I just now noticed that, and I've been watching this for 20 years. And I just not noticed he had that on his tights for his 24 karat pictures. But these guys are some of the good top mid-carders at the time. You know, these guys at the time, you know, they really weren't ever going to be world champion material. So having the IC title to fight over was pretty good. Which, that's something that the product needs sorely right now, is more opportunities for titles, I should say. Like, you know, there's guys that's going to be, like, a lot of the guys could fight for like a European championship or for a hardcore championship if they brought one back. I would love to see the hardcore title make a return simply because you already got the United Kingdom championship. So might as well just bring back the hardcore and have fun with it. I mean, you got plenty of talent to do so. You got a stacked roster, and you can have fun with a hardcore championship. That's what I really loved about that belt, is because of the 24/7 rule during, I think, late 2000, early 2001, when they had that rule going on. Road Dogg with the advantage, but Val Venus comes out of nowhere with a bad drop. Big bad drop. Man, looking rough right there. Get a 1, 2, and kick out. Man, this is a decent match, but it could have a little more quality to it. I wish they wouldn't have done like this tag style match, because it really makes no sense. Like, you know, as a champion, most of the time he's going to stay in the ring because he doesn't want to lose his damn title. Here comes the, oh god, the pump handle slam by Road Dogg. Giving it to Val the only way he knows how, and that's doggy style. Ken Shamrock tags in, sweeps the leg of Val Venus, hits the ankle lock. Val Venus is saying no, not going to tap. Ken twisting that ankle, and this is part where I say it's legit. Like, the way he's holding this ankle lock, it makes you think that this dude's going to tap out. He's stretching, reaching for the ropes. Val finally gets to the ropes. Ken doing what he normally does and not letting go of the ankle lock. Val is hurt. Road Dogg's just standing on the corner. Out over the top goes Ken. And Val and everybody is worn out. Here comes Ryan. What's Ryan going to do? Is she going to kiss him? I hope not. They need to save that for off the screen. Nobody wants to see brother and sister kiss on TV. Oh, Val comes out. Baseball slide right in the back of Ken Shamrock. Kids roaming around the ring. They're fighting up the ramp. And I guess both men are disqualified for being outside. I guess this is an elimination style match for the Intercontinental title. Ken Shamrock comes back into the ring. He's angry because he missed the count. Beats up Goldust and Road Dogg. Goldust goes into the cover. 1, 2, kick out. Dang, Road Dogg is still surviving, holding on to that hardcore championship. But you got Meanie and you got Ryan out there, so everything's in Goldust's favor right now as far as the odds go. Whip off the Irish rope. Another whip back. Ryan accidentally trips Goldust, thinking it was Road Dogg. Road Dogg waiting. Oh, pump handle slam by Goldust. Roll up. No. 1, 2, and 3. Road Dogg retains the Intercontinental Championship in a good match. It wasn't the fastest paced match, but damn, it was pretty good. Road Dogg does a little call signal, running out, celebrating with the crowd. Goldust is angry at Ryan Shamrock, and I believe this is going to lead to an eventual split up with them because of Blue Meanie being jealous as well. Yeah, Goldust is doing stuff you wouldn't do nowadays, grabbing on her arm and cussing her out, telling her to get on to the back. She says she screwed me. You need to go on somewhere. Poor Ryan. I think soon she's going to be abducted by the Ministry of Darkness, and that'll be the last we ever see of her. Meanie and Goldust hug it out as they go into the back. Also in the back, the Bischoff is being arrested for assaulting Mr. McMahon earlier in the night, so we won't be seeing Bischoff for the rest of the night. Our next match is Kane versus Triple H. Now, this match came about 3 weeks ago when Kane accidentally shot a fireball into Chyna's eyes. Chyna was holding Triple H, and Triple H ducked it, and the fireball went straight into Chyna's eyes, blinding her. Then, 2 weeks later, Triple H came out dressed as Goldust and hit a bazooka gun. Now, a bazooka gun in the robe that Goldust normally wears, and shot Kane in the face with that fireball from the bazooka gun. What in the hell is happening? Anyway, Kane's about to make his way out. And it's so interesting to watch this version of Kane. I'm more interested, as far as the early years of Kane, I'm more interested in the 97-98 era, when he debuted and went against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and a little bit after that. This one, he's in the corporation, him and Chyna are in the corporation, and Triple H is fighting for Dietz, and just, I love the image of Kane here. You know, he's like a comic book character, similar to The Undertaker, where it's all red, he's red and black, he's this big jacked up monster, and it's just a great sight. Although my favorite Kane, and most people are going to hate me on this, my favorite Kane is actually after he took off his mask, and from like 03, 04 to about 06, 07 was probably my favorite era of Kane, when he was electrocuting Shane McMahon's testicles and tombstoning Linda McMahon and throwing Eric Bischoff off a stage, setting JR on fire. Oh shit, here comes this fucking San Diego chicken again. He's attacking Kane. What in the hell? Why are you attacking Kane? Come on, chicken. You can do better than this. Kane pulls out. Oh, it's Pete Rose. Now, for you that don't know, Pete Rose was a part of The Undertaker and Kane's match at the previous year's WrestleMania 14. He's the ring announcer. Talked shit about Boston and got a tombstone for it. And it looks like exactly what he's going to get right here. Bam. Tombstone, we'll see you later, Pete. Now, this will become like a trilogy thing, because it's going to do it the very next year in Anaheim at WrestleMania 2000. Now, the chicken's going to show up again, but it's not going to be Pete under the suit. The Pete's going to sneak up from behind and attack Kane, but Kane gets the upper hand yet again on Pete. So it's 3-0 for Pete as far as his WrestleMania appearances go. And out comes Triple H to the classic Dietz music. Got that green shine out. Oh, he's coming from behind. Low blow to start the match. Here we go. Triple H comes in like a house of fire, laying shots to Kane in the corner. Going for the 10-punch salute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You go ahead and go. Oh, Kane with a shove off. Big boot. Man, I'm telling you, at this time, Kane was a goddamn monster. Oh, heavy back body drop over the top rope by Triple H. Triple H tearing off the shirt, getting cheers from the crowd. And at this time, Dietz was in turmoil, simply because Chyna had left, and The Outlaws were doing their own thing. Triple H was trying to do his own thing. And at the Royal Rumble, it really became prevalent that there was something going to happen because everybody was fighting for the chance to be the WWF champion in the Royal Rumble match. And everybody was like, I'm going to win that match. I'm going to win the $100,000, which was a $100,000 bounty on Stone Cold if they threw him out. Triple H is like a house of fire here. Kane is getting up on the outside. And Triple H is just all over the place. And at this time, DX was not cooling off, but they had already had their hot run like from 98 and late 97 with Shawn Michaels. Now it was just one of those things. Good Lord. They showed a replay of Kane hitting the steps and his whole upper body just hit in. It looked so damn brutal. But at this time, I think DX was starting to cool off a little bit. They had done all their fun stuff. And it was just kind of just keep going, But it finally kind of stalled out a little bit, especially with Chyna leaving and going into the corporation. Triple H brings Kane back into the ring, but it isn't long before Triple H is thrown right back out. Triple H drags Kane out from on the bottom ropes. Kane kicks him into the barricade. And this match, to me, is, just two powerhouse wrestlers going at it. One fighting for the honor of his woman, supposedly. Kane had a fondness to Chyna at the time. And Triple H is also kind of fighting for Chyna, but also just keeping up with this rivalry that's been going on for the past couple of months. Kane with a choke slam to Triple H, and instead of throwing him on his back, he crotches him on the barricade, throws him out onto the Mean Street Posse. You can see him sitting front row. The posse's holding Triple H up. People are throwing beer. Good Lord. The Attitude Era, folks. Triple H thrown back over the top by the Mean Street Posse. They're all upset. They got covered in sweat on their suits and their polos. Poor things. Bam! Back first into the post. And another shot to the post. I've never ever wanted to do that and never ever wanted to feel that as a wrestler. I've helped put up rings before. I know how hard those posts are. And yeah, no, I don't want to feel nothing like that. Kane just wearing down Triple H in the corner with shots. Whips him into the corner. Boom, uppercut. Now the Big Red Machine standing tall. And while we're at it, you can tell something just doesn't feel right about this match. Even before knowing exactly what's going to happen, which I'm not going to spoil that for you until we get there, something about this match just really doesn't click. And it could be just because we had a decent little match before, but, this match is kind of slow and methodical. There's not really much to it, and that's sad to say, with two great performers like this, but, this WrestleMania isn't one of the best, I'll admit that. It really isn't. And a lot of people kind of hate this once they look back on it. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I don't think it's the worst. The worst, in my opinion, is WrestleMania 11, followed by WrestleMania 9. So if you want my opinion on that, there you go. Kane diving out over the top, barely hits Triple H. Good grief. They're pulling out all the stops at this point, but it's just the crowd's just not into this. They're not heavy into it. I don't think that the storyline really made sense, and they'd already seen this match before. Not in a singles capacity, but in the tag form at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Kane with a big splash in the corner, misses. Triple H laying heavy shots in right now. There's a sign that says Wookiee in the crowd. Kane whips Triple H off the ropes, swinging a miss. Another swing and a miss. Duck down, classic knee by Triple H. I love that knee drop. Triple H bounces off the ropes. Another knee to the face. Kane is finally down. Now, usually at this point, at least in the 97 era, Kane would have set up right then. But now, here comes Chyna. And Chyna's got this evil smirk on her face. And Chyna's looking the best she's ever looked. My goodness. She looks so great. And it's a damn shame that she's not here anymore. Kane going for a tombstone. Nope. Triple H counter. Here we go. Pedigree. Pedigree time. Nope. Kane drops him down. Big elbow drop. Everybody wants to know what Chyna's doing. Now, let's not forget that Chyna just joined the corporation back in January. And she slides the steel steps in. And it's a damn shame. She's another one that is sad that she's not here anymore. And she's going in with DX in the Hall of Fame. That's great. But really, she deserves her own. I'm happy that she's in. Kane has grabbed the steel steps. And he's looking to lay out Triple H in the corner. Here he comes. Boom. Triple H kissed his does back into Kane. Kane drops him. I think that was a botch spot. I think he was supposed to fall on his face. Anyway. Ooh, uppercut by Kane. Now he's trying to set up for it. Trip, boom. There you go. Face first on the steps. And Chyna standing there stone cold face and all. Walking around the ring. Looking just, like I said, she looks spectacular here. Triple H trying to hype up. We don't really know where Chyna's allegiance is at this point. Triple H with a big clothesline over top, and everybody paused for that. Kane is on the defensive here. Triple H just laying into him. Going for a pedigree on the steps that are on the outside. And that's not going to work. Big bad body drop by Kane on Triple H. Triple H is laid out. Chyna still looking on. There's a Mankind impersonator in the crowd. I see you, dude. Have a nice day. Everybody slow and methodical. Kane brings it back in with a heavy choke slam. Down goes Triple H. Chyna brings in a chair. And it looks like she's going to hand it to Kane. She said, no, let me hit him. Let me knock him out. She comes in with a chair. Kane's trying to pick Triple H up. And wham! Chyna hits Kane dead in the back with that chair. And oh no, she's done fucked up now. Kane's got that hand ready for the choke slam. He's like, bitch, why the fuck you hit me? Triple H grabs the chair. Steady waiting. And boom! Another chair shot. Bam! One straight to the head. Good Lord, that's concussion city right there, folks. He needs a CT scan right after that. Pedigree on the steps. Looks sloppy as hell, but he does it. Triple H with the DX chops. DX is back together with Triple H and Chyna. And the match ends in a disqualification. But the band is back together. DX seems to be a hold. The crowd is going wild as Triple H and Chyna celebrate. And they're heading on to the back. Poor Kane. Fell in love with Chyna and she did him so dirty. Kane sitting up in anger. He knows what just happened. Kane is disheveled and disappointed that Chyna turned on him as Triple H and Chyna walk to the back in celebration. We go backstage to Kevin Kelly, who's trying to figure out who's going to be in the main event of tonight's match as special guest referee. The Bishop Paul White's been arrested and Mankind has been sent to the emergency room. So nobody knows who's going to be the special guest referee. Well, in walks Vince McMahon. And Vince says, you know what, Kevin? I have something very nice in my gym bag. A nice referee shirt. So tonight the special guest referee is going to be me. And says there will be no more controversy. Out next is the WWF Women's Champion Sable with her, well, everything hanging out, doing her little grind. And at this time, she had the hottest selling Playboy in the past 15 years. And looking at her, man, you can't doubt it. She comes out and she's a cocky heel at this point, thinking she's better than everybody else. And here she comes with her catchphrase. This is for all the women who want to be me and for all the men who've come to see me. And she does her little grind. Jerry Lawler's probably frothing at the mouth on commentary. Sable was somebody I had a crush on early on. And here she goes with the grind yet again. Similar to Val Venus, but way better. Got little booty shorts on and everything. Showing out. Now, she's going up against Tori here. Now, Tori really had kind of a short run in WWF. And I really don't understand what this outfit is she's wearing. It's like a tiger print, but it's like a bodysuit. Imagine that shit's hot as hell. But anyway, Tori is a stalker of sorts. And Tori had been stalking Sable since the Royal Rumble. She actually helped Sable win her match at the Royal Rumble, defeating Luna in a strap match. And she went through the crowd and all that. And she would come out and just be enthusiastic with Sable, and Sable kept denying her and everything like that, and just being this cocky, priss-ass bitch. A Hollywood priss bitch. And, and here she is grinding again. Keep in mind that this was the Attitude Era, folks. It wasn't PG. You could do almost anything without getting in trouble, as we're going to be seeing later on tonight in the Undertaker Boss Man match. Sable whipping Tori off of the ropes, taking her down, kicks to the chest. That shit looks stiff as fuck and doesn't look like it feels good at all. Then again, a lot of people complained that Sable was an unsafe worker and that she was a prima donna. So it made sense. Sable's still dancing, still showing out. Meanwhile, Tori's just trying to get serious and have a decent match. As much as you can with the Attitude Era, a lot of the women of this time, this is pre-Trish Stratus, pre-Lita. All you really had was Jackie Moore that was a great wrestler. Everybody else was just divas. I mean, sexy models. That's really all they were. And they had limited wrestling ability. And really, other than, and I meant to say Luna Vachon as well. Luna's a legit wrestler, but say, well, a nice crossbody there. But most of the women around this time, they were just sex appeal. That's all it was. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at Scarlett Bordeaux now in Impact Wrestling. The thing about her is she can actually wrestle as well. It's not just sex appeal. And she's making it work. And WWE's trying to do that, somewhat with Alexa Bliss, but nowhere near to the extent of what Scarlett Bordeaux is doing. Speaking of sexy stuff, here goes Sable grinding again. She is lucky her top is holding her boobies in. I'm telling you right now, because them little things are trying to escape, and she better be glad she's got it on tight. Good grief. She's getting her ass beat right now, though. Then again, I think Tori was inexperienced at this time as well. I don't know how many years she was in at this point. But she didn't really have the best of matches early on in her career. I know her and Ivory had a botch fest of a match I believe it was on a Monday Night Raw. And, it was like a roll-up that she tried to go for, and she fucked it up. And they had to redo the exact same spot again, and it was just trash. But, I never really saw much of Tori after, I think, she was with X-Pac and DX, so I wonder what happened from there. I really don't know. Right now, they're just exchanging pins, going back and forth with different slides and schoolboys and stuff like that. Whoa, big swift kick miss. Another kick missed. Tori runs off the ropes and misses a clothesline by Sable. Dunks on her. Oh, crossbody on the ref. Sable sets up Tori for the Sable Bomb. Here comes Nicole Bass from Howard Stern fame. Oh, and Tori fucks up that spot real bad. Here goes Tori trying to do the Sable Bomb. But here comes big Nicole Bass getting in the ring, snatching Tori by the hair, about to throw her ass around. Nicole Bass, built like a motherfucker, comes in and destroys Tori. Meanwhile, Sable's like, for me? She's like, yeah. For me? You want a piece of me? Oh, they were in cahoots all along. She turns her back. Sable hits the grind. Jimmy Corderas is finally waking his ass up. Sleeps all the damn time. Here we go. Sable Bomb. Let's hope she gets it this time. Bam! Hit the cover. 1, 2, 3. And Sable retains the women's championship. This match was sloppy as shit. I am not going to lie to you. It was mostly Sable doing her grind, which she's doing right now, and Tori botching a bit. Actually, both of them botching. But at this time, the fans didn't care. They were seeing booty, and that was all they wanted to see. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere, like Bubba Sparks. Good Lord. How far we've come with the women's division, right? She's even shaking her ass for King. King about had an aneurysm over there. Speaking of which, oh dear God, we get a zoom in on Jerry's face and he is just grinning ear to ear. Just like every boy at that time. Up next, we got the European Championship, X-Pac versus Shane O'Mac, Shane McMahon. Man, this match right here meant a lot to me growing up because I was a huge X-Pac and a huge Shane McMahon fan. And just seeing these two go at it, you know, Shane being this cocky prick, silver spoon asshole, rich, wealthy son. As we're seeing a replay of how Shane McMahon won the title with Chyna's help pinning X-Pac to win the European Championship. Now we're seeing Greenwich, we're seeing Ferraris, we're seeing $1 million homes. Seeing Shane live his best life on the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut. We get a video package of him beating down X-Pac at different moments, shining up that beautiful European Championship. Of course, the cage match with X-Pac and Shane, where Chyna interfered. And all of this leading up to this match. Bronco Buster trying to steal it from X-Pac, just like he stole the European Championship. And again, just if you go watch this promo package, it's just Shane being a cocky prick, and I love every bit of it. He's running around the ring wearing a DX shirt, wearing shades, looking like just a prick, and it's so fucking funny to watch. We see the street fight with Shane and the Mean Street Posse attacking X-Pac and Shane escaping in one of the Ferraris. This match just brings back so many memories. Just because I was so hyped to see it. Because I knew what Shane could do. Here we have X-Pac and the rest of DX back together. Triple H says that DX is back whole again and that it's the strongest it's ever been. He tells Shane McMahon to bring the best he's got because X-Pac is going to hand him his shiny corporate ass. DX is whole and there ain't nothing stronger. And here comes the boy wonder, the European champion, Shane O'Mac, accompanied by Test. Now it's kind of interesting what Test and Triple H are going to be doing later in the year with the Stephanie McMahon angle. We see Shane's friends, the Mean Street Posse, at ringside as they got involved earlier with the Triple H match. Shane giving them shout outs as he's getting into the ring. Excuse the silence, there's a lot of stalling. Shane's taking off that beautiful European Championship and it to the ref. Got a WrestleMania shirt on with X-Chump on it instead of X-Pac. Now remember on the DX shirt it says X-Punk. I actually used to have that Shane McMahon action figure back in the day with the X-Punk on it. Following contest is for the European Championship. And here comes X-Pac. Now I'll tell you what, X-Pac gets a bad rep. You know, the guy is a hell of a worker, hell of a talent, worked his ass off. He's had his demons and he's overcome them. And it's good to see that he's living his best life now. But, wait a minute, we got Pat and Jerry coming down. Pat and Jerry attacking X-Pac before this match even gets started. Dick already, oh, well, Pat just knocked out Jerry. I'm Bella, I'm sorry, Jerry. Here comes X-Pac to the ring. And X-Pac's ready to go, man. Got them arms shaking, ready to roll. Shane's like, slow your roll, kid. Ain't no time for all this. X-Pac's telling them to get in the ring. They're having none of it. Shane being the little coward that he is. Everybody's hyped up. Everybody wants to see this match. Get on this way. And Shane will try to get in, then he won't get in. Typical cowardly heel bullshit. I love it. I love Shane McMahon at this time. I loved him. I've loved him ever since this, really. You know, I really didn't really care for the referee angle and the reinstatement of Stone Cold angle that they did through Survivor Series of 98. But this stuff right here, all the way up to until now, just golden. I absolutely love Shane. Spinning heel kick by X-Pac, finally getting Shane down after Shane started trying to brag a little bit. X-Pac beating the holy shit out of Shane. Is it already time for a Bronco Buster? Nope, Test pulls him out of the way. And as you can tell, you know, Test is the higher gun, man. Like I mentioned earlier, he's out there to protect Shane and Vince to the best of his ability. Oh, that's Pod taking out Shane, my man, right there. Big shot to the back. Brings his ass right back to the ring. Like, where the fuck you think you're going? And Test attacking X-Pac now. Oh, crotch and X-Pac on the post. Again, I felt those posts. I set up rings. They don't feel good. I'd rather not have any part of my body, especially the genital area, hitting ropes or hitting posts or anything like that. It's just not a good time. You know, I'm not trying to be on ridiculousness, hitting my nuts on a board. As we see a replay of the spin kick from earlier on in the match. And we see a replay of the posting again. Good Lord. Also, shout out to X-Pac for being able to survive that Bronco Buster that tore his anus open. Not something that I would want to ever experience, and I'm sorry he had to deal with that. But I know them turnbuckle pads, they aren't as soft as you think they are. And man, when you hit that thing full force like he does with that Bronco Buster, you're liable to tear something, and unfortunately he tore his anus, so sorry to gross you out with this story, but just telling the truth. As Shane's laying in some kicks, some punches. This is early on in Shane's wrestling career where he's still not fantastic, as he's going for the corporate elbow here. Looking sloppy as hell, misses the corporate elbow. And you could tell he's not good in the ring, even though he's been around all of his life. Oh, nut shot that Spike. But you could tell that he's still green to it. And even after all these years, he's gotten better, but he hasn't got to the best of his ability. And now, wham, whooping X-Pac with Test's weightlifting belt. That shit does not feel good. Taking his ass to the woodshed. X-Pac just getting worn out here. And it seems like the odds are against X-Pac here with Patterson and Briscoe coming out, with Test being at ringside, Shane being able to use weapons and shit. The posse's outside. You know they're going to get involved somehow. It's just all falling away for X-Pac. And more on Shane's side. X-Pac with a flying crossbody over the top rope. And now here comes the posse. P-Gas gets an elbow. Everybody's getting punches. Getting their ass beat. They should be involved in the match anyway. Get them out of there, ref. Come on now. Somebody come take them out. Here comes Test. Big clothesline. Golly, the higher gun of the corporation taking out X-Pac like it's nothing. Throws him back into the ring. And the odds are just stacked against X-Pac at this point. Shane took a nasty ass spill when he flew out over the top rope in the replays. Shane's bad dropping elbows. Setting up X-Pac in the corner. What's he going for here? Going for a Stone Cold-like elbow. That forearm. That forearm drop that Austin does. Now what? Topping back up to the top. X-Pac drop kicks him and crotches him on the top turnbuckle. Again, not something I want to ever experience. That shit looks like it's painful. No amount of Blue Chew in the world would ever help you with that. Superplex from the top. X-Pac hitting the suck it really hard. Gets the pin. 1, 2. And again Test comes in. Throws X-Pac into the steps. Boom. X-Pac moves. Test hits the steps himself. And now the higher gun is out. And now X-Pac has the weightlifter strap. He's about to go tear some hide off of Shane O'Mac's back. That $1 million Bath and Body Works ain't gonna work for you. Lighten his ass up here. The crowd is just going insane for it. There's one old man in the crowd. You'll see him standing up. Everybody's ready for the Bronco Buster. Here we go. Will he finally get it this time? Yes. He finally connects with the Bronco Buster. Riding him like a cowboy. Come on now. Here comes Test again. This time with the European Championship. Knocking X-Pac smooth out. The deck has been stacked against X-Pac from the start of this match. There is nothing X-Pac can do. Shane McMahon's got this in the bag. Shane slowly crawling over. Taking a sweet ass time. 1, 2, and kick out. X-Pac is still alive in this match. Both men are down. Both men are just spent. Shane would have been gassed from 5 minutes into the match. He already looks like he's about to die. He's ready to go back, get something to drink, and get a new pair of Jordans. It's like, fuck this. I got Jordans to get. When the Concord 11's dropping. Stomping on X-Pac's neck. Shane McMahon setting up for a Bronco Buster of his own. No, he misses in the same spot that tore X-Pac's anus. Thankfully, Shane's anus is okay. At least, well, I don't know. There's only one other person that knows about that, and that's his wife. And I'm going to leave it at that. And his doctor. And out comes Triple H and Chyna. X-Pac hitting the Bronco Buster on Test. Triple H is here to save the day. Drags Test his ass out. X-Pac hits the X Factor on Shane. Here we go. X-Pac's moment. Wait a minute, Chyna's on the apron. Chyna's distracting the ref. Triple H with the pedigree on X-Pac. Yes, folks, DX is dead. DX is done. Triple H and Chyna have joined the corporation, helping Shane McMahon beat X-Pac for the European Championship. DX is dead. Triple H has just turned heel on his best friend X-Pac. I remember this moment when it happened. I was so fucking angry when this happened. I was like, why would you ruin something so good? Because DX was so good. I love DX. But X-Pac got destroyed. And he's getting destroyed again. Big shot by Triple H on X-Pac. I hated Triple H for the longest time before this. I really did. And then even when they brought DX back, I think it was like DX 2000, I hated that version of DX. I like the theme song now. I love the King of Rock theme song. But I hated this, man. And here comes Kane. Excuse me, not Kane. Here comes the Outlaws. The Outlaws coming out and Triple H is just beating up Billy Gunn. Test is beating up Road Dogg. DX is dead. It is purely dead at this point. Triple H just waylaying. He's taking the money. He's taking the greed over friendship. Man, this was a moment. This was a moment. You can see a lot of fans cheering, but there were many that weren't. Many were upset that this happened. And it's because they were so loved. Then you got Shane coming in and, oh, lights go out. Wonder what's going to happen here. It's the Big Red Machine Kane back again. Coming out to take out Triple H and vengeance for earlier in the night. Going to take out Chyna as well. Going to take out all those that have done him wrong. Everybody scatters the ring. Kane is out after him. Holy shit, he just ran and hopped over the top rope like he was a cruiserweight. Good lord. Kane is pissed. He is ready to take everybody out. Triple H, Chyna, Test, and Shane scurry into the back. The corporation's in big trouble with the Big Red Machine. As we sit here and watch X-Pac, and we watch the replay, Triple H turning on X-Pac. So disgusting. I hated this moment. Like I said earlier, I hated it. I don't think it was the right time for it. But hey, it all worked out in the end, didn't it? Triple H wanted to be one of the best heels in the business. You got the Outlaws consoling X-Pac. And it wasn't me long until they just all decided to split up. Billy Gunn, of course, went into the King of the Ring on his own. Road Dogg did his own thing. S-Pod did his own thing. It wouldn't be long before DX completely was dead. And S-Pod calling Triple H a son of a bitch. This was sad. This was a sad moment. But what's even sadder is the Hell in a Cell match that's coming up next between The Undertaker and the Big Boss Man. Now, as a fan growing up, I had such high hopes for this match. I really did. Because I love Big Boss Man. I love The Undertaker. I think Ministry Taker is one of the best versions of Taker there is. Even though it was short-lived. And here we're seeing a promo package on Undertaker versus Vince. Pretty much everything that's leading up to it. With the teddy bear being set on fire. And Undertaker dragging Shane out and handing him this envelope to hand to his dad. We get more pictures of the bear being set on fire. Which actually ends up being Stephanie's teddy bear. And this storyline is going to go on for a couple more months. At Backlash, Undertaker's going to abduct Stephanie without Vince knowing. And just dark shit's going on. And no real explanation of why this happened. You know, Undertaker lost a Buried Alive match. And then he comes back with the Ministry of Darkness. And then all of a sudden he's just targeting Vince. Well, in the fit of rage, Big Boss Man comes out and attacks Undertaker while he's trying to attack Vince. And Undertaker gets upset, puts him on the symbol, beats him down. And then they have the infamous explosion of the Undertaker symbol. Such a sick moment. Undertaker at this time was just top notch. But Vince is telling him that he's having a match with Boss Man inside Hell in a Cell. He said he's going to get his ass. Undertaker with that sick smile. Just terrible. And then you see the corporation beating up Midian. And then Taker and the Ministry showing up at Vince's home, waiting on Stephanie and Linda to get there. Meanwhile, Shane and Vince aren't there. Kane and Vince are in the ring, but it's not Kane. It's the Undertaker under there. Undertaker surprising Vince McMahon, grabbing him. Lights go out, pyro goes up, and just the mind games of the Undertaker setting him with Vince McMahon. So Vince sends Boss Man out to face Undertaker in his Hell in a Cell match. Now this match is infamous for being one of, if not the worst WrestleMania matches, and also one of the worst Hell in a Cell matches of all time. And that's sad to say, because that cell looks absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous and destructive. Out comes the Undertaker. And if you've never experienced Undertaker's entrance in person, it is something special. It's something you'll never forget. You know, I still get chills every time that I go to see him, and I've been to 3 WrestleManias where he's wrestled at. I've been to WrestleMania 30, 32, and 34. And every time I see his entrance, it just gives me chill bumps in person. And it's something that if you have not experienced, you have to experience one time before he retires. And here he comes with Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer looking as big as ever. I think this was as close to as big as he's ever been. If you played WrestleMania 2000, you know exactly how big he was at that time. Because his render is pretty disgusting, and that's sad to say. And again, nothing bad to say about Percy Pringle, the man who plays Paul Bearer. May he rest in peace. But he went through a lot of health issues. He had fluctuating weight, so it's just, at this time, it was hard to see. They're locking the cage. Bear's on the outside. He can't get in. And that's going to be something, especially in 1999 with Undertaker, that Paul Bearer would interfere in just about every damn match the Undertaker had and help him win. But here we go. They're facing off. And let this shitstorm begin. Boss Man swinging on Taker in the corner. Couple of shots. He's serving hard times, as Boss Man would say. Getting all up in his face. Now, you know as well as I do, Undertaker's coming back with these fists, and he likes to throw soup bones at him. He don't give a damn. Bam! Rocking Boss Man. Another shot. And like I said, on paper, this match looks great. It looks phenomenal. It's WrestleMania worthy. But just execution and just the pacing of the match wasn't really great. You know, these guys are two hard hitters, but at the time, Boss Man wasn't really that popular. Maybe if he would have done this in 1990 when Undertaker had just debuted and Boss Man was riding high on hard times, yeah, that might have worked. But right here, you know, not a lot of people were into the Boss Man at this time. Which Boss Man kind of screwed himself up on a title match because he was supposed to be at a spot where he's supposed to hit Stone Cold with a chair or a nightstick. I can't remember exactly what spot it was, but he wasn't there for the spot, so Gerald Briscoe had to go do it. And that completely ruined Boss Man's setup for the main event scene. And I think had he not missed that, he would have been just fine. But here he is talking trash to the Undertaker. Undertaker just keeps setting up. Classic dead man stuff. Goes for the boot. Counters. Undertaker's taking him down, punching him in the back of the head. Boss Man just getting wrecked here. I think, yeah, had Boss Man been in that spot at that time, he would have had a chance to at least be a main eventer. Incredible. He is credible. I like to call him Shield's daddy because he's wearing the riot gear attire pre-Shield days. So that's Roman, Seth, and Dean's daddy right there. Just whipping Boss Man to the cage. Tim White in there. Scary foreshadowing with him, seeing as his career ended in Hell in a Cell. A couple years later with Triple H and Chris Jericho at Judgment Day. Paul Bear's still trying to get in. Tim White's telling him shut the fuck up and stay out of the way. Boss Man's like, bitch, it's time to cuff you. It's time to make you wifey and cuff you to the cell. Boss Man into some kinky shit. He pulls his nightstick out. Got Undertaker locked up. It's about beatdown time. Taker trying to kick at him. This shit's ridiculous right here. It's like cat and mouse. Finally, he clubs him in the stomach and then the chest with a nightstick. Hits him dead over the head. When he hits him over the head with the nightstick, the goddamn chain breaks on the cuffs. So Taker finally just hits the floor. Boss Man has to improvise because this is supposed to still be on. Undertaker's still supposed to be cuffed. So he has to improvise and beat the shit out of Undertaker with that nightstick just to keep the spot going. But I tell you, shit was bad. Shit's bad. Undertaker busted open here. Getting choked out. Boy, that's some weird shit. Like I said, Boss Man kinky. He's into some freak shit. Bashing Taker's head in right now. Taker just barely holding on as we... Oh, never mind. Boss Man got goozled. Bam! Face first to the cell. Another shot. Another shot from Taker. Finally getting back on the offensive. Wheels Boss Man straight into the cell. The cell fucking moves. But it has no give. It does not care what body hits it. It is unforgiving. Taker's just covered in blood. He's digging her in the ring. Got that steel chair out, and that looks like the steel chair that was used earlier in the Mankind Big Show match. Or it might be from Triple H. Who knows? That chair is all dented the fuck up. And boom. Chair shot to the back of Boss Man. Paul Bear's on the outside like, oh yes, you pig son bitch! Undertaker, fuck him up, please! Undertaker about to go postal. Bam! Bossman's head ran straight into the cell. You like that impression? Oh, yes! Look at my Undertaker. My Undertaker's bloodying up the boss man. You're not the boss now, huh? Are you, bitch? Undertaker just straight throwing shots, and this match is so goddamn slow. Like I mentioned at the beginning, the pacing of this match is just absolutely garbage. Absolute ass. And that's a shame for both of these guys, but they're both big guys, so they're going to tire easily. Thrown to the eyes by Boss Man. Let's take her off the ropes. Goes for a clothesline miss. Undertaker with that classic clothesline. Got some air on that thing. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and kick out. Strangely, the 2 times the Boss Man's been in a cell match, they were both goddamn awful. And I actually just watched the review on this from Brian Zane, Wrestling with Regret. He reviewed Unforgiven 1999, which happened later on in this year. And Boss Man was in a Kennel from Hell match, as y'all remember, as Undertaker just gets posted on the ropes trying to do old school. He was in that Kennel from Hell match with Al Snow that was absolutely fucking atrocious. With Rottweilers on the outside that wouldn't do shit. You had a blue steel cage inside the Hell in a Cell. You had to escape both just to get out. Match made no fucking sense at all. It was, again, thought out well. Fucking execution was terrible. Dogs pissing all over the ring, humping each other, barking at each other. Just a terrible fucking match. And I don't know if that says anything about Boss Man, because it really shouldn't. I just think both of these matches where he's inside the cell, it really doesn't help. Mainly because the pacing of the match with this one and just the concept of the Kennel from Hell match with Al Snow. It just didn't make fucking sense. I don't know. I think that was a Russo booking decision, but god dang, that was fucking terrible. Here they are trading blows back and forth, back and forth. Boss Man's starting to get the upper hand here. And again, there's nothing special going on. And you gotta remember, at this time, people are used to seeing people fall off the top of the cell, people going on top of the cell. This match doesn't have that. They're inside and they're just fighting. And they're barely using the cell. Undertaker setting up for a tombstone here. Boss Man counters. And it's just boring. And I hate to say that. I like both. Here we go. Tombstone. And all this was off of a missed clothesline. He gets a tombstone. 1, 2, 3. Thank God this shit is over. This match was fucking terrible, guys. And like I said, I hate to say that about Undertaker and Boss Man, because I love both of them. But this match was shit, and what's about to happen is even worse. Undertaker raises his hands to the sky. Got his mouth wide open, gaping like he's waiting for some raindrops to come down into his mouth. What in the hell is going on here? Okay, he's been waiting for a while. Don't know what's going on here. He's like, what the fuck is happening? I guess they were supposed to drop before then. But here comes the Brood dropping from the ceiling. Edge, Christian, and Gangrel, who are part of the Ministry at the time. Edge getting tangled up in his rope as he's coming down. And like I said, guys, what's about to happen here, you could not do today. You could not. You would be off the air as soon as it hit television. And yeah, this was on pay-per-view. But if any network company found out about this and they saw it at this time, like now, shit. No, you'd be off the air. At this time, it was alright. But, and even then, it's pushing the fucking limit. So, what's happening right now, Gangrel, Edge, and Christian are loosening up this rope that they're trying to push through the hole of the cell. And they're actually tying it around the cell. And what are they dropping down? They're dropping down a fucking noose. That's right, I said a fucking noose. Like something you hang people with. So I'll give you 3 guesses of what's about to happen here. Is Boss Man going to get hanged? Is he going to get hanged? Or is he going to get hanged? I'll let you decide on that. Undertaker wraps it around his neck. Now, of course, it's not around his neck. He's got a little apparatus underneath it that's keeping it from choking him out. But Edge, Christian, and Gangrel are standing up on top, posing. I believe they ascend back into the ceiling. Edge gets fucking hung, and he is just swinging. He is just fucking swinging from the top. Oh my god, I am going to post a video of that. I don't know if you guys seen that, and I don't know if it's on the network version, but he's just fucking swinging there. And now Paul Bearer's lifting the cell, the rope's wrapped around Boss Man's neck, and is lifting Boss Man into the air. The crowd has no fucking clue what to think. They're saying, like, are we seeing this man actually die here? Like, everybody's just fucking radio silent here. You can see flashbulbs of what's happening. And Boss Man is hanging, man. I mean, I don't know what to say. They got a man hanging from a noose. And then the lights go out, the cameras come out, there's flashbulbs everywhere. What in the fuck happens? How the fuck did they get him down, for one thing? Because they never really show that. They cut off of it. Some disturbing shit right here, man. Shit I never thought I'd see. Especially as a child watching this, I was freaked the fuck out. But now it's time for the main event. We get a hype package between Austin and Rock, 2 of the best and brightest stars of the Attitude Era. And this is all stemming back from Vince McMahon costing Austin the title at Breakdown, where Austin had to defend the title in a triple threat match against Undertaker and Kane. And Undertaker and Kane couldn't pin each other. They could only pin Stone Cold, so Stone Cold was basically in a handicap match. Now, as we know, The Rock would go on to win the WWF title at Survivor Series, winning the Deadly Games tournament, also turning heel in the process and joining the McMahons and becoming the corporate champion. Now this is showing where The Rock and the Big Show have been having problems. Showing the Sunday Night Heat where the Big Show went to go attack Stone Cold Steve Austin, but Austin was behind Rock the whole time, hit him with a stunner. Showing Austin just tormenting the McMahons, The Rock, the entire corporation. We get a little review of Austin versus McMahon, which is the crux of this storyline, but Austin and Rock have their own separate story going along with it. And here we have the infamous beer bash scene. The week before WrestleMania, Austin comes out in the Coors Light truck, sprays beer all over Vince, Shane, and The Rock. Classic moment. Showing the classic moment where Austin hit Rock with the chair for Mankind to pin him and win the WWF Championship. Just all of this leading up to this match. And this was a little foreshadowing of what was going to happen at Royal Rumble when The Rock cost Austin the Royal Rumble match and let Vince McMahon win the Royal Rumble match. So now they're setting this up. It's WrestleMania. Rock Bottom. Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock on top of the world, man. And it's so crazy to see how far The Rock has come in his career from being a wrestler to being the highest grossing actor in the world. And then Austin, of course, being in film and television. And, you know, these guys, I mean, they were 2 of the best. They're my top 2 of all time. And that's personal preference. Stone Cold is my number 1, always. The Rock's going to be number 2 in my heart. Randy Orton being my 3rd, if you want to know. But here we are, the first of the WrestleMania trilogies. WrestleMania 15. Austin versus Rock. So, Michael Cole's in the ring, and he introduces JR. Now, JR has been out with a Bell's palsy issue, and Stone Cold actually requested JR to be there for this match. And JR comes out, and you can tell that he's not in the best physical condition. You know, it hadn't been too long since that happened, and Actually, for a little bit, JR has been heel on TV with Dr. Death Steve Williams because he's trying to get his job back. Even having a pirated radio channel in front of the broadcast table so he could get listened to. But Jerry's happy to see JR back. There's a sign that says JR's WrestleMania, and for the longest time, man, he's the voice of my childhood. JR is the greatest commentator of all time to me. I know a lot of people hate on him now for what he did with Access and New Japan, but I love him, you know. I mean, everybody gets older, and, you know, things happen, you know. I'm just happy to have JR be the voice of my childhood. That's what I'm proud of. And here comes your special guest referee for this match, Vince McMahon. Said he had a referee shirt. He is wearing just regular shirt and workout pants. It looks like, or it might be his blue slats he had on earlier. Whatever the case may be, he is not in official referee attire. But he's out here, cock of the wall, getting his ass booed. But wait a minute, there's some commotion going on. Crowd's getting all hype. Holy shit, it's the commissioner of the WWF, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels coming out here looking as only he can look. And that's a phrase he would actually say. Now this is the time where he's not doing the best. You know, he was out with his back injury. I'm not really sure if he had already had his back surgery or not. But he was the commissioner at the time. And for a little bit he was with the corporation in late 98. And then he joined back with DX on January 11th to get revenge on Vince McMahon for firing him. Now, here we are at WrestleMania, and Shawn Michaels is out to say that Vince McMahon will not be the special guest referee for this match just because he is not authorized to. And Shawn Michaels says that if Vince would have read the handbook, he would have known that Vince isn't the one that can make the decision on who's going to be the referee for the night. Shawn Michaels is the one that's going to make the decision on who the referee is for tonight. And while he's at it, he is kicking Vince McMahon out, and the corporation is barred from ringside. If they show up, Shawn Michaels says he will handle Vince out back. Vince tries pleading his case to Shawn as they're both walking up the ramp. So it's great to see Shawn back, and I guarantee you that we will not be seeing the last of Vince McMahon tonight. Out comes the People's Champion, the WWF Champion, The Rock. Now, The Rock, the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment, slowly sauntering to the ring, carrying that beautiful Big Eagle WWF Championship belt. And at this point, The Rock was on the rise. I mean, he was the top heel in the company. And soon later in the year, he would become the top babyface in the company once Stone Cold Steve Austin went out with injury. But right now, at this moment, it's the top babyface versus the top heel. You can't get no better than either one of these guys. And this match is obviously not their greatest match. Obviously, I believe that would be WrestleMania 17. But damn, what a great way to start off this WrestleMania trilogy. And no one really knew that would be a trilogy of matches. But, man, the matches we got were spectacular. And I loved every single bit of it. This is my childhood encapsulated into a moment right here. Watching The Rock walk down to the ring with that belt over his shoulder. About to walk up to the ropes. Hold it up. Just smelling it. Getting the air. Man, just amazing. And it's a damn shame that WWE games don't know how to fucking do his entrance right. They don't know how to do this entrance right, and they don't know how to do his Hollywood Rock entrance right. Now, Hollywood Rock is probably my favorite version of The Rock. So, there's that. But the crowd is going fucking bananas now. Camera zoomed in on The Rock. Out comes Stone Cold Steve Austin wearing a t-shirt. Not his vest, but a t-shirt. Now, during this time, he was having some marital issues, and he just, through all the fluster and frustration, he had just forgot his vest at home. So he had to walk out with a t-shirt, and that's one thing he says he hates about this match the most, is that he walked out in a t-shirt on his second WrestleMania main event. And honestly, it's nothing that bothers me, but if you're a performer, you want to have your right gear, and you want to have your best gear for WrestleMania. You want to look the best that you can, because it's the showcase of the Immortals. It's your Super Bowl. You better go out dressed to the nines for it. Here we go with that classic face-off, Austin and Rock. Austin trying to go to the other turnbuckle. The Rock's not letting him. Mike Chioda's in the middle. Boom, here we go. Lefts, rights, fronts, backs. Here we go. Austin dipped out over the top rope, landing onto the announce table. Things are getting started hot and heavy here. Rod Slam is also on the table. Austin fucking slips. That's fucking hilarious. The shirt finally comes off. Rod's choking Austin with the shirt. These crowds are so rabid, man. The people are struggling to hold these people back. I see the Rod's mom in the crowd. She's there for that big moment for him. Which these guys had a good little feud going on in late 97 and early 98. I know right after Survivor Series they had a feud going on in 97. Austin sails the Rock over the top rope. And it was a good little thing to show you where they're going to be at in the future. You knew both of these guys were going to be main event players in the future after that feud. And plus, The Rock just outshined everybody in the nation at the time. They're fighting in the crowd here, man. Stuff like this you really can't do today. You can do it in doses, but not to this level. Especially not with guys this popular. I mean, wrestling was as popular as it ever was at this time. I see a Wheaties box with Stone Cold Steve Austin on it, if that says anything for you. And they're not letting them move through the crowd. Nowadays, fans are respectful. They'll move out of the way, at least. This time, nah. You fighting with the crowd, you're fighting with them. You're right there in them. Austin knocks Rock over one barrier. Goes for a back handle. Or an axe handle, I should say. Not a back handle. Don't know what that is. Austin comes in, clubs him again. These two are just whooping the shit out of each other. Going to the other side of the arena. Fighting in the crowd. And again, same thing on this side as it was on the other side. Austin kissed Rock in the groin. Same thing it was on the other side. Fans just everywhere. Now this, I think, is just like a pure brawl match to me. There's not a lot of finesse to it. Beating the shit out of each other, man. There's not a lot of in-ring work at the moment. The Rock's choking Austin out with a wire. Laying his ass out with it. Here we go. Back to the back. Heading up to the WrestleMania sign. This match is just iconic. Here we go. Reversal. Bam. Straight into the crowd. Pops off. Takes a clothesline. For the Rock to just pop off like that and take that clothesline and back-to-back bumps is just fucking impressive. Here they go. Bad drop onto the lighting fixture. Austin's knee hits that lighting fixture. I know that shit didn't feel fucking good. And that's his surgically repaired knee. The Rock going after it. The Rock just... Every time he would look at the crowd, he'd kind of do that. He'd had the snarl with a sniff. You know, like smelling. And he just had this foul look on his face. And they showing replays of this bad drop. Austin's leg hits the fucking crossbar on that lighting fixture. And that shit fucking hurts. Has to. They're trading shots back and forth. Into the boom camera. That's fun. Austin and Rock, I guess, tried to do a clothesline on each other, but missed. You see a lot of production equipment on the side there. I think some of that's going to come into play. Now Austin grabs a wire and starts choking Rock with it. A little payback from earlier. These two just going to war, man. Like I said, it's not going to be your classic wrestling match. It's not like what WrestleMania 17 had in it. Shoot, this is just pure brawl. Rock slams straight into the WrestleMania sign. And that son of a bitch is swaying. Good lord. Imagine that thing fucking falling. Every time I see that spot, I just imagine that thing falling on both of them. Fucking ending careers with that shit. Chioda's trying his best to get him back in the ring, but they're just not having none of it. Straight shot to the Rock. Austin dragging him back to the ring. They're calling spots here. You can tell Austin's got him in a headlock and they're just talking all the way down. Austin going for a superplex on the floor. Nope. The Rock counters with a suplex of his own. On the concrete. Here they go. Rock asking if he's okay. Camera zoomed in on him. You can tell they're calling the spots right now. Rock gets up and kicks Austin. Drags him to the ring. It's hard to drag somebody by their bald head. Especially after they've been sweating. You know, you're just going to get sweat everywhere. They're going to slip out. You know, it's not easy to hold. Austin getting his ass whooped. The Rock brings out a thing of water. One of my favorite things he used to do at this time. Get the water, spit in people's face. Just classic shit. Disrespectful. Throws water at the referee. Rod just doesn't give a shit. Here we are. And they have literally fought all over the arena. Pretty much. Except for going backstage. They have fought all over the ringside area. Good grief. Austin throws the Rock onto the table. Gets up on top of the railing. Middle fingers in the sky. Crashes onto the Rock. The table doesn't break. So Austin gets back up. Does it once again. And he breaks it. Back in the ring now. And Rock's finally got the advantage. Wrapping Austin's leg up around the post. We're getting another replay of the elbow through the table. Just a gnarly spot, and crazy that he had to do it 2 times to break it. If you played, I believe it was Legends of WrestleMania back in the day, it was like a shitty arcade version of SmackDown vs. Raw. That's one of the things you had to do as a challenge was break the table not once but twice. As Austin slams Rock into the steel steps here. I was never a fan of that game. I love the animations and stuff and how it looked, but you know, the button mashing bullshit and all that. That's another topic for another time. Let's just enjoy this match. Austin throws Rock back in the ring. Austin readjusts his knee brace. Rock bottom. Rock bottom out of nowhere. 1, 2, and no. The Rock's pin almost actually covers himself because he pulls Austin's too fucking far over. Man, what a war these two have been through so far. Me talking about it doesn't do it justice. You have to actually go watch it. Just like I've been telling you all day. Go watch it. It's well worth your time. The Rock grabbing a steel chair. About to head back in the ring. Take Austin out with it. Now it's no disqualification, I believe. Austin grabs the chair. Hits the fucking referee. Knocks him smooth fucking out. Hits him right in the fucking head with it. The Rock laying the smack down on Austin. Comes through swinging net breaker. Beautiful swinging net breaker by The Rock. Here they are calling spots again. Referee just clumps out of the ring. Rock's going back for the chair. It's something about their WrestleMania matches that involves chairs. Austin going for the stunner. Nope. Rock counters with a back elbow. If you watch WrestleMania 17, you know exactly what I'm talking about with these chairs. And The Rock's laying waste to Austin's leg. Just hammering his knee, hammering his bad knee. His reconstructed knee. Austin's in a world of hurt here. Rock's just decimating him with that steel chair. And in 1999, when The Rock had a steel chair, you knew he was going to fuck somebody up. Because Rock always swung for the fences. Whether it be with Mankind or Ken Shamrock, he always swung for the fences. Just like now, bam, headshot on Austin. That's a little bit lighter than normal. In comes Tim White. Tim White getting a lot of work tonight. Almost 3 count. Timmy working hard tonight. He's been in several matches. These two men are spent. They have whooped each other's ass all over the arena. The crowd's still into it. You can just see it. Shows the chair shot on Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda got his brain scrambled on that chair shot. Austin swung for the fences on that shit. Rock steadily wearing down Austin. Got him in a chin lock. Mike Chioda's being carried off to the back. You got the dumbass fans trying to get themselves over, jumping around up in the front. They're in this rest hold, and Lord knows they needed it. Fans are chanting Austin. Austin's riling back up. Here he comes. Laying some shots in on The Rock, but The Rock counters and hits him with a clothesline. Blows snot at the fans. Just prickish Rock. So prickish. Back into a side headlock again. Referee's trying to check and see if Austin's ready to Tap out. Austin's got his mouth covered because he's calling the spots. You can tell. That's all this is. Austin looks like he's in agony. The Rod's just getting mad. Austin's fading here. Austin looks like he's passed out. Referee Tim White's going to check the arm. 1, 2. No, Austin gets it up. Austin gets it up. Austin fighting bad now. Heavy blows. Middle fingers flowing at him again. Tossing him into the ropes. Here we go. Samoan drop by The Rock. Getting the cover. 1, 2. No. The Texas Rattlesnake hits out again. What a hellacious match. What a hellacious match. The Rod's getting pissed off at the ref here. Timmy White's done all the bullshit. It's time for Timmy to get a rock bottom. Rock bottom on Timmy. Poor Timmy. Taking all the pain, taking all the injuries. Here we go. Stunner. Stunner. The Stone Cold Stunner. Crawling into the cover. 1, 2. Here comes another referee out. Earl Hebner. 1, 2. No. The Rock kicks out. Rock kicks out, and Austin cannot believe it. Austin cannot believe that. Now, I will tell you this. Me growing up as a kid, with Austin and Rock being who I enjoyed watching the most, Austin's looking back for something. Hey, here comes Vince McMahon. Oh, shit. Austin's getting a chair. About to come at Vince, come at Rock. I don't know who he's coming at. Vince said, come on, fight me. Austin with a middle finger to Vince. About to ruin the Rock with the chair. Oh, nut shot, and both men are down. Rock goes for the cover. Nope. Rolls him over. Here comes Vince in. Now remember, Shawn Michaels allowed Vince to stay out here, but not the corporation. So Vince is fine out here. Vince knocks out the referee, though. And Vince and Rock are both stomping away at Austin. Austin can't fight for himself. He's defenseless. The Rock and Vince are just going at it. Vince just with all the hatred in the world for Austin, stomping him with all of his might. What can the Rattlesnake do? Holy shit, here comes Mankind back from the hospital. The Rock's arch enemy and the thorn in Vince McMahon's side as well. Here he comes, and he knocks the dog shit out of Vince. Vince gets knocked to the ground. Mankind stomping his ass into the ground. The Rock grabs Mick Foley. Gets rolled up. 1, 2, no. Kick out. These two are going back and forth here. Duck under. Luthez press. Luthez press by Austin. Austin going into the ropes, dropping the elbow. Looks like it's about to be over here. Rock hits him in the chest. Clothesline. The Rock setting him up. Here it comes. Another rock bottom. Second rock bottom of the match. But this time, the Brahma Bull is snorting. He's ready to go. He's ready to take the elbow pad off and drop the people's elbow. The most electrifying move in sports entertainment today. Pointing at Mick Foley, flipping off the Rock. Here we go. Drinking it up. Middle fingers. Bam. Misses the elbow. Vince is shocked. Austin gets his kick countered. The Rock goes for another rock bottom. Elbow. 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 Turn around. Stunner. Stunner. Rock selling like a sumbitch. 1, 2, 3. And your winner and new WWF champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. For the second WrestleMania in a row, Stone Cold has won the WWF championship. And Vince is in shock. Vince is in horror. His worst dreams have come true. Austin rules again. Austin is the WWF champion once again. Holy shit, folks. That is what we like to call a Ragin Climax. Holy shit. Mankind's holding the WWF championship, waiting for Austin to get up. Vince is just in shock. Austin smirking from ear to ear. Such a cool ass moment. The crowd is just going insane. They are so hyped up. It's shit like this you'll never see again. All these flash bulbs and shit. You'll never see stuff like that again. The rattlesnake rules again to end WrestleMania 15. Damn, this right here is my childhood. This was, like I said, the very first WrestleMania I've ever watched when I was a kid. And I fell in love with the sport in 1999, 20 years ago. I fell in love with this sport. And it's brought me here to this podcast. This means a lot to me. Seeing Vince crying and upset, Austin holding that beautiful big eagle belt, ruling the roost, just him in the ring, the crowd's just energetic. It gives me goosebumps. Austin's getting his beer tossed to him, having him a few cold ones. This was the height of wrestling's popularity. And it's still popular now, but man, it's nothing like it was back then. And I'll say this along with everybody else. Just in popularity, it can't be matched. Just with, you'll never see superstars like that again. And everybody worked their asses off to be the best. Now, Austin's drinking his beer, holding the title up. Just celebrate, man. Took him all the way from, I believe, September of 98 to get the title back to this point. It's been a long road for Austin to get the belt back. Vince is on the outside, still upset. King's trying to comfort him. Vince, you alright? Mr. McMahon, you alright? As JR would say. Austin's going up the ramp, but wait a minute. No, sir. Tosses the belt back in the ring. Grabs the ref. Celebrates again. Now, this is something that Austin will become known for over the time. Is him just celebrating. Going hard, man. This is so beautiful to watch. The crowd's so hyped. You know, there's not a dead crowd in sight. The only person really upset is Vince McMahon. Even Earl Hebner says, "Oh, hell yeah, baby," and clanks a beer with Austin. That's some good shit right there. That's some good shit. Holy hell. Hebner hitting the ropes like he's the star of the show. Fucking fantastic. Holy shit, there's a guy that looks like Tony Pizza Guy in the front row. Or in a few rows back, if you know who Tony Pizza Guy is. Also holding up that beautiful big gold belt. Did I say big gold? I meant big eagle. Drinks his beer. Throws it. Vince is staring on. Vince said, "You son of a bitch." And the hatred continues. The Austin McMahon saga continues. And man, it gets wild on the road out of 1999. That's for damn sure. Austin stands tall. Vince looking on in pure disgust. Vince calls him a son of a bitch. He said, "That's my belt, you son of a bitch. That's not yours, that's my belt." Austin tries to hand the belt over to him. Wham! Punch to the face. Throws Vince's cartoonish ass into the ring. It's such a cartoony spot. Gets up. Stone Cold Stunner, baby. Stone Cold Stunner, flipping him off. Riding off into the sunset. Holding the beer, holding the championship over Vince. Pouring beer on Vince. Just a party happening in Philadelphia. Austin holds the belt over Vince, stands on top of him as WrestleMania goes off the air. Vince is upset. Austin gets a couple more beers. Just classic stuff, man. Classic stuff. And that's how we end WrestleMania 15. Now, to get back to the story that I was going to tell you before everything broke down in the main event, with Austin and Rob being two of my favorites, me and my classmates would always, in class, make championship belts on our paper. Like, we would draw championship belts. And we would go outside of recess, and we'd have title match. And the main match always between me and my friend was The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because when I was a kid, I could sound like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Not quite much now, but it was this right here brought back so many memories. Watching this back in full, you know, it wasn't the greatest WrestleMania in the world. There were some dud matches that really made no sense. And, you know, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg having their title matches swapped made no sense. But overall, I don't think this was as bad of a pay-per-view as people tended to be. I've seen far worse. The turn of Triple H joining the corporation and beginning his heel ascent that's going to last most of his career. Like, really, the only downsides were really the Sable match and the Hell in a Cell and a couple of the 3-way and 4-way matches. They had their dead spots, but they were still good matches. But seeing Austin Rock in their first encounter on a WrestleMania and being this good, it was going to be hard to top. But man, they did at WrestleMania 17. I'll give it to them there. So, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. I'm your host, Tyler Mitchell. I am the king of Strongcast, and I appreciate you guys listening to the Strongcast podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Strongcast Wrestling Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at TheTBiggs79. That's TheTBiggz79 on Twitter. Don't forget to join me this coming Wednesday for the Raw and SmackDown review, as well as reviewing the news that's going on this week. And we review Fastlane and what went down on the Fastlane to the road to WrestleMania. Once again, I'm Tyler Mitchell, and you've been listening to the Strongcast Wrestling Podcast. And I will see you in the ring. Take care. Have a great weekend.